So
Matthew Blair Rains has a good question, and thank you for the 10 pounds, Matthew. Why did or does the UK and France have such different approaches to their former colonies / empire, both with regards to military and intelligence actions? That's a great question. I will say that the only thing the French really care about is they just don't want to be attacked by people who used to be from, or who are from what used to be colonies. So they're happy to go to the Sahel and try to fight Al Qaeda, but otherwise they're willing to just get up and walk away.
I think the French approach to post-colonialization has been like, if there's a fire, we'll come in with the French Foreign Legion and put it out, and then we'll go home.
Exactly.
But
the Brits don't want to do that.
But the Brits had the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
And they, so the illusion here is that, technically speaking, right, the king's face is still on the money in Canada and Australia.
Yes, it is.
And Belize and the Bahamas and all these places that are ostensibly independent. They just, the Brits have trouble letting go. They want to think that they're still a colonial power. They want to still think that they run an empire.
Yes.
And I think that's part of the Brexit mentality, ironically, even though, the people who voted for it probably weren't thinking like that at all. I think it's culture. I think it's like the French. I think the deal is like this. The French think that they have majesty because they're France, and that they bestowed some of their majesty on their colonies. I think the Brits think that their majesty comes from having colonies.
That's a good point. I could see that. That actually makes sense to me. Hey, Big Boss Bob Ross has a good question here. Why did the French help the genocidal Hutu government during the Rwandan Genocide? I never understood a single aspect of that genocide. There were Hutus and Tutsis who were, married into each other's families. Mm-hmm. Hutus living next door to Tutsis for generations, and then, like flipping a switch, they all started killing each other. I just didn't understand it. Can you make heads or tails of this?
Yeah, I mean, it was a classic divide and conquer strategy, and basically, the whole idea that there's even such a thing as Hutus and Tutsis was invented by the colonial powers, and it was like, basically, it was a traditional approach to take a favored minority, group and put them in charge, kind of like, I guess you could sort of say that was the model that the Brits pursued in Iraq and stuff like that. So I think it was like, support the minority. They will fight hard to oppress the majority, but the majority will be resentful and seething, and they'll fight each other. It's kind of like Stalin when he drew the borders of the Central Asian republics.